I just suddenly remembered a scene from the 2014 teen romantic drama film If I Stay. In the scene, the main character Mia asks her mom who the most badass punk rock woman is. The mom gives Mia some examples. She mentions Debby Harry first, followed by Kim Gordon, Joan Jett, and some others if I remember correctly. Although I don't see these artists as pure punk rock, I guess they're pretty much under that umbrella. Like I said, I think Mia's mom mentioned other specific artists besides Debby Harry, Kim Gordon, and Joan Jett, but I just cannot remember. Anyway, I've been thinking, who among the three is really the most badass? To me, they are all badass in their own way, but I wonder who is generally the most badass. If my interpretation is correct, the movie If I Stay believes it to be Debby Harry, considering Mia chooses to dress up as Debby Harry for the Halloween party. By the way, I forgot to mention it in the beginning, but the Halloween party is actually the reason why Mia was asking her mom about who the most badass punk rock woman was. So yeah, considering Mia decided to dress up as Debby Harry, I conclude that she is the most badass to her. It's not directly stated if she was dressing up as Debby Harry, but Mia really looked like her in the party. So if I'm wrong, please do correct me. Anyway, back to the main point of the discussion. Who would you consider as the most badass among the three artists, Debby Harry from Blondie, Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth, or Joan Jett from the Runaways / Joan Jett and the Blackhearts? Personally, I think that Debby Harry looks super badass with her high expression and her clothes. If you look at her images on the internet, it just immediately screams badass. However, when she sings for Blondie, the music doesn't sound too badass to me. It's just not as punk as you think it would sound. Blondie has songs like One Way or Another and Hanging on the Telephone which do sound punkish, but it's just not badass enough for me. Plus, they just have songs like Rapture and Heart of Glass which sound more disco, therefore killing the badass punk image. I love all those songs and I love Blondie, but I wouldn't really consider them to be so badass. If I'm missing or unaware of a pretty badass side of Blondie, please tell me all about it, cause I'd like to know. Moving on to Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth, I do believe that she is more badass than Debby Harry. Although Kim Gordon dresses pretty simple, what she sings about and how she sounds is pretty badass to me. I believe that Sonic Youth songs are about the aches of life in general, translated into noisy and angsty distortion guitar tracks accompanied by such flawless drums, with shadowy lyrics that just grab your soul. Now that's badass. Well, it is badass, but not really in a usual punkish side, because Sonic Youth is not your generic punk band. In fact, they could even be better. However, we are discussing who the most badass punk rock woman is among the three, so I cannot consider Kim Gordon as the one, considering how Sonic Youth tries to be something a little more than punk. But by the way, I think that Sonic Youth is one of the best bands ever. Finally, we'll be talking about Joan Jett, who I would say is the most badass among the three. Literally everything about her is badass. Her dark-colored clothes, her edgy facial expression, pretty much all her songs, whether it's with the Runaways or the Blackhearts, her killer vocals, all scream badass punk. She screams nothing but rock and roll, probably making her the definition of badass. I wouldn't be surprised if I looked up badass in the dictionary and merely Joan Jett was written as the definition. She said in I Wanna Be Where the Boys Are by the Runaways, that she's the bitch with the hot guitar, and I couldn't agree more. Well, Lita Ford, her lead guitarist, also holds that title, but that's besides the point. And so I guess it is settled. Mia from If I Stay should have chosen to dress up as Joan Jett for the high school Halloween party, because she is the definition of badass. Debby Harry and Kim Gordon definitely are awesome, but they just don't scream badass like how Joan Jett does. What a dream come true it would be for me to meet Joan Jett in real life. Same goes for Debby Harry and Kim Gordon. We just don't have badass rock chicks today like we used to. How about you? Who is your favorite badass rock chick?